Have you ever gone to pick your kid up from ice skating lessons, and maybe you arrive a few minutes early and you're expecting to see your child laughing and having all kinds of fun with his new friends, maybe getting cheered on for some great play, some great move, but instead, when you arrive, he's sitting all by himself and he sees you and he pounces to tell you, Daddy, I want to quit. I don't want to do this anymore. Or maybe it's a baseball game, something like that. And you find him on the bench, not getting the Gatorade bath that you thought maybe his teammates would be appreciating him with for hitting that game winner. Instead, you can tell that he's on the edge of tears. And that, this thing isn't for me anymore. Dad, I want to quit. Our heart breaks. We want our kids to be protected. We want them to be happy. But at the same time, we want them to have that heart of a lion. We want them to be able to push through and succeed. But we don't want to come off doing it like General Bobby Knight, coach of the Hoosiers. We're going to talk about that today, Dad Squad. Welcome to the Run With My Son show. And we're a group of dads who are determined not to let the headwinds of life push us off that path to a lifelong heart-to-heart relationship with our sons. And we do that by pairing something we call Runversations with physical activity to really unlock and make those moments happen with our sons. So let me throw a thought at you today. Oops, my graphics are going wild on me. Here's the thought. Tell me, dads, what activity or sport was it that pushed your child to the brink? What made them want to quit? Was it soccer? Was it maybe gymnastics was not so much fun this week? It was fun last week, but I don't want to do it anymore. Go ahead and type in the comments, even just one word if you're shy. What was it? What was that sport, that activity that they just, that pushed them one step too far? In our household not too long ago, my youngest, it was soccer. He was dreading our summer soccer camp, which is a week-long, just a couple hours every morning in a week. But he was ready to pre-quit. He was ready to quit before it even began. And I think he was thinking back, he was remembering last summer how hot it got on those summer afternoons. But anyway, he pushed through. We made him see that it was going to be fun. And what do you know, lo and behold, he had an amazing, smashing time of it. So I'm sure you've got some of those stories to tell too. And I'd love to see them in the comments. So go ahead and write them in there if you've got any. Perseverance. It's a recognized, and as I wrote in the description here, it's a recognized success and resilience trait. People who have this do well all throughout life, professionally, romantically, just in their own happiness. If you persist, you eventually, if not the stars, you at least reach the moon. You hit these goals, and sometimes you even go beyond. So we want our children to have impact in life. We want them to be persistent. But you know what? You want to balance that determination with some gentleness as well, because we don't want to be a taskmaster. And that's a delicate balance. Am I not, striking a chord here, Dad Squad? So we're going to get into some tips right away. I'm not going to hesitate anymore. But number one, and this is one that you need to put in your back pocket, because this is gonna benefit you in all circumstances. In order to teach perseverance to our children, it's going to take at least twice as much perseverance from you. You've got to have it in you to keep encouraging, because you're going to want to give up when he shows the least bit of resistance. And when he, drags his feet for the seventh time, you're going to want to throw in the towel, dads. And I got to encourage you now that it takes perseverance from you, maybe even in a 2-to-1 ratio. That was a great piece of advice I got from Melanie Shepard, so I want to thank you, Melanie, for that. Also, everything that we're looking at today is kind of kid-dependent. I had a couple of dads, Kevin Burr, Bill Miner, he pointed this out. Some kids respond to one form of encouragement, other kids respond to something else, and you're going to have to do your gauging and testing of that a little bit. Maybe even in the same household, brother and sister respond to different kinds of encouragements. But keep that in mind. Something else that's going to be true for a lot of things we say here on this show, you want to lead by example, dads. If you are immediate and without much of a breeze whatsoever, the first person in line to quit and throw in the towel, well, guess what? It's going to be true for our children. we have to find some determination just in our own lives, because we are being watched around the clock. And that's true not just on the field, not just outside on the track. It's true in life. If you are trying to do some difficult project around the house, but you decide, I don't feel like mowing the grass this week, I'm just going to let it grow and mow it twice next week, just because of your fatigue or something similar to what you would hear your children say. That should be an indicator, Dad. You got to have a little bit of perseverance in your own life. We want to show that example. That was advice that I was hearing universally across the board. Cherrick Gordon had that to say, Matt Push, Carlos Diaz. These guys know it because they've lived it, and I'm sure you have too. I also wanted to lift up Chris Jones, CJ. He pointed this one out last week. Our kids hear our voices all week long. We're the one coach who is persistently with them all seasons of the year, not just basketball season, not just during the height of playoffs. We're the coach that stays with them from year to year to year to year. And we've got to be their biggest cheerleader, because no one will have the impact that we have in those short 18 years, sometimes less, that we get to influence their lives. So thanks for that, Chris. In our household, we do a number of things. Sometimes when we're feeling a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious before something, we pray. And maybe your household does too. Something else we always do is we want to validate their struggle. Dad, I don't know, I don't want to do this. All the other kids are bigger than me, or they're better than me. It's always the wrong play to immediately say, no, it isn't. No, they aren't. They're not better than you. They're not bigger than you. When you do that, you're taking a posture that's antagonistic, that is an adversary. Instead, you want to validate, yeah, I understand. Yeah, some of those kids are kind of big. Maybe that's true. Maybe they look big, or you're thinking that they're big. I understand. It can be nervous when you're, with unfamiliar faces or playing something you haven't done for a whole year. Last time you strapped on skates was last December, Validate to reassure them a little bit. But then, great advice I got from Carrie Stubbs Hansen. She said, share some stories from your own life. If you've got some similar stories from when I was a kid, and I remember being out in the soccer field, and I could not understand the concept of having a position and having to stay in one spot. Coach kept telling me to go, you're way over the field, you're supposed to be over there. So I'd go over there, and then they'd blow the whistle for the next play, and all the kids are running around, and I'm planted like a tree. And he'd be yelling at me for staying in one spot. I couldn't understand. What do you want me to do? Anyway, it's a funny story to tell. But sharing a story like that with your son's going to help him see that even Big Mighty Dad, had some of these moments too. And if you can relate to him like that, then your posture changes from being an adversary to being an advocate, because he sees that you guys are standing in the same spot and that you too have felt like you wanted to quit something. But this is key. Tell him about how you didn't and what happened, what the reward was when you stuck it through, and how greater things are on the other side of that. Something else, I think it comes naturally, although Damian Castles put it very well. We want to give lots of encouragement, lots of compliments. We've said here before in the show, you can never encourage too much, but make certain the encouragement is of this type, not encouraging the results or the goal they scored or whatever that they did, encouraging their effort. Wow, it was amazing to see how long you were able to keep up and run. You outlasted all these other kids on the field. I'm really proud of you. Or that must have been tough. I know that some of those other kids, maybe they could hit the ball further than you, and I heard a few of them saying unkind things and laughing, and I know that would have been tough, and I really respect how you kept pushing anyway. That was big. That was amazing. Encouragement of their effort will carry them so much farther, dads, than encouragement of their successes or any given momentary victory that they have, because it's going to be something that's true, and it's going to be something that they're going to want to give you more of that. They're going to want to hear that encouragement from you next week, so they're going to try hard again next week. All right, so we want to definitely keep reminding them of how we appreciate their effort. And here's another great idea. Oh my goodness. This came to me from Shandy Hodson. She said, and this works with us too. I don't know why I didn't think of suggesting this for our kids, but to take that big, monumental chore, that big quest that looks so intimidating to them that they want to quit, and break it down into smaller, more achievable tasks. We do this ourselves, don't we? When we fill out our agenda every week when you're at the workplace and boss tells you the quarterly expectation. Okay, what's the first thing you do? You break it down into your weeklies or your dailies there, and that's what you focus on. Why are we doing this with our kids? Take that big task. You don't have to become, the MVP on your team today. You can learn to make certain that your dribbling is consistent. Just work on that today. And I'll be proud of you no matter what else happens. If I see that you're working on that dribbling, I'm going to be proud of you. Break it into a smaller series of things. Matt Cochran said it's even better if you have them identify what those smaller steps are. Amazing. I mean, if they're seeing the big task and they're breaking it down, then they can take a breath. It's not so scary. It becomes something approachable. They'll be reassured. That is how we're giving them some affirmation, some validation. And, once they realize that we're not coming down on them for being lazy, for quitting, once they see that we're here to help, that's how you switch that posture from adversary to advocate. So that's a great one. And let me just take a moment here, Dad Squad, to say that if you have been feeling a little bit underwater with your relationship with your son, let me lift you up and give you some encouragement myself here today. You are not alone. I absolutely have felt that before. Moments when my son couldn't even, pick his eyes up off his tablet for 3 seconds to say hello to me. He'd much rather play with all of his gizmos than go play with his dad or have a conversation with me. I felt kind of irrelevant. And I've heard it from dads a lot. It happens, and the things that draw their attention are more and more frequent these days in the modern life. But it absolutely is something you can work on and address. And you can get that relationship back on track. And it starts with one-on-one time that you devote. And I mean commit to having each and every week with your son. It is so key. Get some time, go off and do something that's just you and him. No siblings, mommy's not invited. Even if it's only for an hour, you're going to go out there together. You're going to have those great conversations that you want to have, but you're going to piggyback that onto something fun that he enjoys and will want to do. That's how you're going to get it to stick. You're going to get him to want to commit to doing this every week too, and he'll begin to associate the great times that he's having with the great conversations he's having with Dad. And somehow, magically, those words are going to unlock in his head in a way they never would if you were delivering them, at the kitchen table in a lecture-style hall. You know what? Go out and do something fun together and have those runversations. We like to go on Saturday morning runs. It's great to be out in the outdoors in nature, breathing the air. Something about activating the motor system and all 5 of your senses just helps them to retain these things like nothing else. I promise you, dads, you go out, you devote some time for one-on-one time every week with your son, and those conversations will start to happen. And if you're intimidated by the idea of running, or you don't think either one of you knows how to start, or you don't think you're in the fitness place, let me encourage you with this. I'm going to throw up here on the screen for you. We've got a free couch to 5K training plan. I got mine right here. And you can download it either on our website. It's got everything you need into it, no matter what age your son is, ages 4, 5, 6, 7 on up. It's going to teach you how to get into that routine of running, tell you how many miles, how many minutes to run, how many minutes to rest, how frequently to do it. Everything you need to know is in there. You can get it on our website, or if you're watching on Facebook, you don't even have to go to the website. You can just type the words training plan, or even just the word plan. Maybe you're on mobile and you only got 2 thumbs. Hey, type the word plan in the comments right here, and you'll get it instantly. We'll send it right to you. That's how important it is for you guys to get started on something, because you can't steer a ship that isn't moving. You can't redirect a car. A GPS isn't going to help redirect a car that's stuck in park. You need to get moving in one direction, even if it's the wrong direction, before you can adjust course. So by all means, download this training plan. Get started today, dads. Take that off the screen so we can jump back into our topic here of raising a never quitter. Here's a great piece of advice from Nolan Lake. He wanted us to know that it helped in his family when he reminds his children of why it was they committed to doing this task, this sport or activity in the first place. Remember when you came up to me and you told me, Dad, I really, really want to join Taekwondo. if in those moments of doubt when they want to quit, if you're able to say to them, remember how badly you wanted this, that's gonna give them a little bit of a boost, putting their mind back into that old memory. And they have a rule in their household that they do not, if you start it, you finish it. Now there's some exceptions that he put in there for understandable circumstances that are outside of our control, but all other things aside, if it's within your control, if you start something, you finish it. And he tells a great story. Here, let me grab a prop. We are Taekwondo students in the Newell household, and there have been moments when they didn't want to go to Taekwondo. There have been moments when they wanted to quit, and had they done that, they never would have achieved these. These are just little trophies you get when you advance in the belt. But to a kid, that means everything. Seeing the success that has come in the past. Remember when you wanted to quit, but you didn't, and you ended up getting a trophy a few weeks later. Being able to tell that. Listen to this story that Nolan Lake shared. He remembers a season when his son was playing, I think it was in the fall, he was playing baseball, and he took a pitch right to the temple. Oh my gosh, that's every parent's worst nightmare, right? And I mean, he was okay, but understandably, that child, was a little hesitant, didn't want to go back to baseball in the spring. And it was a dilemma for Nolan. He was on the fence. I really don't want to push him into something that, oh my gosh, could result in another injury. How awful would we feel in that case? But he also, wanted to give his son that lifelong benefit of a perseverant spirit. So, he got some advice, talked to some people, and what their plan was this. He talked to his son. He said, look, you go to one practice this spring. You stick it out for one practice, and then you come home and you look me in the eye, like I'm looking you in the eye right now, Dad Squad, and you tell me whether or not you want to quit. And that's what they did. His son went and he tried out, went to that practice that spring, and the answer that came home was, Dad, thank you for not letting me quit. I had such a fun, let me read the exact quote. He said, thank you for not letting me quit. I had a lot of fun today. Okay, so that's kid language, but he had a great day, and it followed with all kinds of successes. He learned how to swing without jumping out of the box, out of fear of the pit. We've all got a story like that, don't we, dads? You've experienced a moment in your own life when you wanted to quit something, but you stuck it through in that relationship. You stuck it through in that sport or with that particular coworker, and in the end, it came out okay, didn't it? You're standing here today, and so am I. So we got to give that to our sons. All right, Dad Squad, I'm going to wrap it up. I want you to go forward and take your father-son team to victory this week. Remember, we're not going to push through the pain and the tears and those tough moments together. Instead, dads, we're going to pull our sons. We're going to help them see that they can do it and that you're with them no matter what, that you support them and what the benefit is going to be when we do it. Because, someday, dads, he's going to be doing the same thing for you, isn't he? All right, well, go out there, have some Runversations this week. Don't forget to join us next Friday, and every Friday we're here at 10:30 a.m. Eastern on the Run With My Son show. Share the show. Let any dads you might know who you think could benefit from this hear about us. Put them in the comments, and look forward to hearing the great victories you'll have this week. All right, dads, have a great one.